Welcome to the Ramayan, Stories of Dharm and Devotion. I'm Sandeep, your storyteller, guiding you through the timeless epic of Valmiki's Ramayan. While our narrative remains deeply rooted in Valmiki's original text, we also draw from a tapestry of regional lore, Puranic insights, and devotional traditions to bring you a richly layered journey through this sacred saga. In our previous episode, we witnessed Hanuman's triumphant return from Lanka with news of Sita's steadfast virtue, and how that news galvanized Ram's army of Vanars, bears, and sages. Hanuman had returned to Mount Mahendra after his extraordinary journey to Lanka. He had seen Sita with his own eyes. He had spoken to her. He had reassured her that Ram would come. And now, he had returned with that sacred message of hope. Today, we turn the page to Yuddha Kanda, the climactic sixth book of the Ramayan, the Book of War. Yuddha Kanda is a profound meditation on duty, courage, and the moral stakes of righteous conflict. Here, the serene devotion of Sundara Kanda gives way to the drumbeat of battle. Alliances are forged, strategies are laid, and every hero prepares to stand firm in defense of truth and justice. As Yuddha Kanda unfolds, we will see the Vanars host led by Sugreev marshal its might, the divine architect Nal Kaman's construction of the glorious Ram Setu bridge, and Ram himself seek counsel from venerated elders like Vibhishan and the celestial sages. Together, they prepare not only for the clash of arms, but for the triumph of dharmic order over adharm's shadow. In this episode, we will explore how devotion transforms into determination, how faith galvanizes strategy, and how every act of planning becomes a prayer. From the sacred rituals purifying the war council to the thunderous chants that echo across the ocean, witness how a righteous cause marshals divine forces for the battle that will decide the fate of worlds. Let us now step onto the shores of purpose and preparation, where gods and mortals unite under the banner of dharm. After Hanuman returned with news of Sita, Ram and Lakshman found a quiet moment away from the camp. The weight of the mission rested heavily on their hearts. Lakshman spoke first, his voice filled with sorrow. He said, "Brother, I cannot stop thinking about Bhabhi Sita left behind in Lanka. I wonder if I made a mistake by not staying with her. Could I have done more to protect her?" Ram looked at Lakshman with calm and kindness. He replied, "Lakshman, you did all you could. No one could have done better. The fate of Sita was never in our hands to change. We must accept what has happened and focus on what lies ahead." Lakshman sighed deeply, feeling the pain of separation. "Still, it troubles me. The thought of her suffering is unbearable. I wish I had been stronger, braver, to stand by her side." Ram placed a gentle hand on Lakshman's shoulder. "Your courage is beyond doubt. The sacrifices you made are clear to all. Now is not the time to dwell on what is past. We must think about how to rescue Sita and restore dharm." Lakshman nodded slowly, determination growing in his eyes. "What shall we do now? How do we cross the ocean and reach Lanka's fortress? The enemy is strong, and the path is unknown." Ram's gaze hardened with resolve. Hanuman's journey showed us the way. We will find any means, by penance, by strength, or by crossing the sea itself. No obstacle will stop us. The two brothers looked toward the distant ocean, calm but endless. Lakshman spoke with quiet faith, "With you leading us, brother, I believe victory is possible." Ram replied with steady certainty, "Together, we will bring Sita home. Together, we will uphold dharm." Meanwhile, not far from Ram and Lakshman, a council gathered beneath the shade of towering trees. Sugreev, the mighty king of the Vanars, sat with a thoughtful look. Around him stood Angad, Hanuman, Jambavan, and Tara, each a trusted leader and warrior. Sugreev began, his voice steady and commanding. "The news from Hanuman fills us with hope, yet the challenge before us is great. Lanka's defenses are unlike any we have faced." Angad, young but fierce, nodded. "Uncle Sugreev, our strength is unmatched. We are many, brave,
and ready. But the ocean stands as a barrier. We must find a way to cross it swiftly and safely. Hanuman, who had seen Lanka with his own eyes, added quietly, I will do whatever it takes. The path to Devi Sita lies across that vast sea. Nothing must stop us. Jambavan, wise and calm, stroked his beard. This is not just a battle of strength, but of patience and strategy. We must prepare carefully. Our enemies are cunning. Tara, her eyes sharp with wisdom, spoke softly but firmly. Ravan is proud and ruthless. We cannot underestimate his resolve. Yet his power rests on fear and illusion. Our courage and dharm will be stronger. Sugreev looked at each one. Let us gather our forces. Let us ready the Vanar army. We will follow Ram's command. Our loyalty to him and to Sita guides us. Angad raised his fist. We will move like thunder, swift and unstoppable. Hanuman's eyes gleamed. For Devi Sita and for Ram, no ocean is too wide, no fortress too strong. Jambavan smiled gently. Then let us begin the preparations. Soon, the drums of war will sound. Tara nodded. And in every heart, hope will burn brighter than ever. Next day, as the Vanar warriors cheered and celebrated Hanuman's success, Ram stood still, his eyes fixed on Hanuman. With a voice heavy with emotion, Ram said, O Hanuman, what you have done cannot be described in words. Crossing the mighty ocean, entering the fortified city of Lanka guarded by Ravan's demons, and returning alive, this is no ordinary feat. Ram added, only Garud, the vine god, or someone like you could even think of such a task, let alone complete it. The Vanar army listened in awe as Ram continued, you have done what even the gods and demons would hesitate to do. You have proven that courage, when guided by purpose and devotion, becomes unstoppable. Ram then turned to the rest of the Vanars and said, there are three kinds of soldiers. The lowest kind does not follow his master's orders, even when he is able. The average one does only what is asked. But the highest kind, he performs even the most difficult task with love and zeal without waiting to be told. Hanuman is that third kind of soldier. And with those words, Ram stepped forward and embraced Hanuman. It was not just an act of gratitude. It was an act of pure love, a king honoring his most loyal warrior, a divine soul embracing his most faithful devotee. The Vanars were moved. Even Lakshman lowered his gaze with emotion, seeing the deep bond between his brother and Hanuman. But as the moment passed, Ram's face turned serious once again. He walked slowly to the edge of the cliff. Ram's voice softened. The search has ended. We now know where she is. But how do we reach her? Lakshman, standing beside him, remained quiet. The Vanars too fell silent. They all knew what Ram was thinking. Even if they had an army ready to fight, how'd they get there? It was then that Sugreev, king of the Vanars, stepped forward. He saw the shadow of worry on Ram's face and spoke with clarity and calm strength. He said, Ram, why does your heart waver? You are no ordinary warrior. You are the son of Dashrath. You are the upholder of dharm. This sorrow does not suit you. Sugreev urged, cast it away. The time for doubt has passed. We have learned that Devi Sita is alive. That knowledge alone is a blessing. It is a sign from fate that victory is within reach. You must not let grief cloud your mind. A troubled mind cannot lead. A heart filled with sorrow weakens even the strongest arm. But you, Ram, are wise and resolute. Rise above this moment. Sugreev then turned and pointed toward the massive army of Vanars gathered behind them. He said, these Vanars are not ordinary creatures. They are loyal, brave, and ready to enter fire if you command it. They will cross the ocean. They will scale the mountains. They will break the gates of Lanka. Sugreev said with conviction, we must find a way to build a path across the sea. And once we do, Ravan will fall. Lanka may be protected by demons, guarded by spells and monsters, but once we reach it, nothing can stop us. He added, You have me by your side. You have Lakshman. You have Hanuman. And you have this entire army that believes in you. Who in the three worlds can stand against you in battle? Sugreev's voice grew stronger. You must not dwell on loss. The time has come to act. Let us plan how to cross the ocean. Once the army reaches Lanka, the outcome is certain. Ravan's end has already begun. Ram listened in silence. Slowly, the shadow of doubt began to lift from his face. He turned towards Sugreev and gave him a quiet nod. In that moment, a new energy spread through the Vanar ranks. They sensed that the battle ahead would not be easy, but it was now inevitable. As Sugreev's bold words settled into the hearts of the Vanars, Ram's eyes lit up once more with focus and resolve. The grief that had clouded his mind was now replaced with a spark of determination. His voice, calm but purposeful, broke the silence. He said, turning to the mighty Vanar who stood beside him, Hanuman, you alone have seen the city of Lanka. You have walked its streets. You have seen its walls, its guards, its secrets. I am ready to cross the ocean. If need be, I will cross it through penance. Or I will dry it up. Or build a path over it. But first, I must know what lies ahead. Ram continued, tell me, Hanuman, what kind of city is Lanka? How many gates and fortresses protect it? What kind of army guards it? How loyal are the demons to Ravan? Describe everything to me as if I was seeing it with my own eyes. Hanuman bowed his head, his hands folded in humility. He was always ready to serve. He said, O Ram, listen now, and I will describe Lanka as I saw it. Lanka is no ordinary city. It is grand, fierce, and filled with wonders. It stands tall on the peak of the Trikuta mountain. On all sides, it is surrounded by the ocean, deep, dark, and dangerous. There are 4 main gates to the city. Each is massive and well guarded. Iron bars and thick wooden beams lock them in place. Huge machines stand at each gate. These hurl stones and heavy darts to crush enemies before they even step close. Lined up behind the gates are hundreds of deadly weapons bristling with iron spikes. Just one of these can wipe out entire battalions. They are forged by the demons themselves and are always ready to be used. Hanuman said, the walls of Lanka are made of gold. Not painted, not decorated. Built from gold. Inlaid with gems, rubies, cat's eyes, corals, and pearls. It shines like a city of the gods. It is beautiful, yes, but terrifying in its might. All around the city flows a deep and wide moat. The water is cold, dark, and full of crocodiles and deadly fish. No army can pass through it without losing many lives. Hanuman continued, each of the 4 gates is linked by a massive drawbridge. These bridges are lined with engines of war, ready to fling rocks, boiling oil, and fire. Behind them are watchtowers, buildings, and rows of guards trained to sound alarms at the slightest disturbance. He said, the main drawbridge is unlike anything I've ever seen. It is strong and unshakable, supported by golden pillars. It glows even at night. It leads directly into the heart of Lanka. Rama asked, his voice firm, and who guards all this? Hanuman answered, the demons. Fierce, loyal, and trained. They guard the gates, the towers, the skyways, and the royal mansions. They're not just soldiers, they are bound to Ravan with fear and loyalty. They will fight with everything they have. Hanuman added, Ravan himself is ever watchful. He does not sit idle in his palace. He inspects his army, checks their formations, and prepares for war every single day. He knows his enemies will come. He is proud and confident, but not careless. His city has the 4-fold defense: water, mountain, forest, and fortifications. Lanka is built to never fall. Not to gods, not to yakshas, not to Gandharvas. It is a celestial fortress made by Vishwakarma himself. Hanuman paused for a moment, then said with clarity, But no fortress is invincible when dharm is on our side. Ravan may have prepared well. But Ram, you are the destroyer of fear. You are the flame that burns away darkness. When you reach Lanka, even these mighty walls will tremble. Ram listened with deep attention. Every word Hanuman spoke added a new piece to the map forming in his mind. He could see Lanka now, not just as a place, but as a challenge that he must overcome to free Sita. With the city's defenses now clear, the next question loomed large: how to cross the ocean. The pieces were coming together. The purpose was clear, and the battle for dharm had begun to stir. Hanuman's vivid description of Lanka settled like a map in Ram's mind, its mighty gates, its golden walls, its deadly weapons, and the fierce loyalty of its defenders. Yet, beyond the defenses and the fortresses, what burned in Ram's heart was one thought: Sita is waiting. With a fire in his voice, Ram turned to Sugreev and said, I will destroy Lanka. I will burn that city to the ground. Let us begin the march now. This is the right moment. Ram then gazed toward the sky and continued, tomorrow, the northern planet Falguni will align with the Hasta star. These are signs of victory. Today, the sun is at its peak. Let us not wait any longer. Let the wicked Ravan fall. Let Sita know that her Ram is coming. Her hope will be renewed like nectar to a dying soul. He looked at Sugreev and added, the omens are strong. My right eye twitches with promise. The wind carries blessings. Victory is near. Sugreev, full of courage, stepped forward and bowed. Command us, O Ram, and the entire Vanar Sena will rise. Ram then began to organize the march. He said, Kneel, go ahead with 100,000 Vanars. Clear the way. Ensure the forests are rich with roots, fruits, and water. The demons may poison the path. Be alert. Let the strong Vanars leap into valleys and dark forests. Search for every grove. Ensure no enemies lie in wait. Ram commanded, to lead the front lines, let Gaz, Gavya, Gavaksh, and Rishabh march forward, like bulls leading the herd. On the right flank, let Rishabh guard our forces. On the left, let the powerful Gandhamdan keep watch. In the center, I shall be with Hanuman, and Lakshman, like Kuber on Sarvabhaum, shall be with Angad. Jambavan, Sushen, and Vegdarshi will guard the rear. Let the army move like an unstoppable flood. Sugreev issued the orders, his voice thundering across the mountain. The Vanars roared in excitement. They sprang up from the caves and treetops like sparks from fire. The sky trembled with their chants. They pounded their chests, shook trees, snapped branches, and raced toward the southern sea. Some played drums made of wood and bark. Others blew on conches. Some tossed each other into the air for sport. Laughter and war cries echoed across the forest. As they marched, they feasted on sweet fruits and wild honey. The young ones ran ahead, leaping and roaring. The older Vanars shouted, for Ram, for Sita, death to Ravan. Rishabh, Neel, and Kumud cleared the path, while Sugreev, Ram, and Lakshman moved at the heart of the army. On every side, mighty Vanars leaped like rivers of thunder. Kesari and his army protected one flank. Jambavan and Sushen, with their bear warriors, guarded the rear. Valimukh, Prajangha, Jamb, and Rabhasa patrolled the edges, urging the Vanars forward. Soon, they reached the slopes of Sahya mountain, its ridges crowned with flowering trees and crystal streams. The monkeys climbed joyfully, throwing boulders, plucking fruits, and bathing in cool waters. The forests bloomed as if the trees themselves welcomed the army of Dharm. Birds sang sweetly. Beasts watched quietly. The sky above was clear, and the wind was gentle. It was as if the world knew Ram was marching. Lakshman, walking with Angad, turned to Ram and said, Victory is near, brother. Good omens shine all around us. The air is fragrant. The sky is bright. Even the stars in the heavens support your cause. The constellation of our dynasty shines high. The comet disturbs the star of the Titans. Everything in nature sings of your coming victory. The army marched day and night. Vanars raised each other in pride. Some yelled, "Kill! Kill!" Some lashed their tails, others leaped through trees. They drank from clear lakes, bathed in waterfalls, and cheered their coming battle. The whole earth seemed covered in fur, fang, and faith. Finally, the vast army reached Mahendra mountain. Ram climbed its peak and beheld the vast, roaring expanse of blue stretching beyond sight. It was no ordinary sea. It was the domain of Varun, the lord of waters. Waves crashed like war drums. Whirlpools spun like wheels of fate. Serpents slithered through the depths. Crocodiles and whales swam like moving islands. It was beautiful and terrifying. Ram turned to Sugreev. We have reached the ocean. Now begins our true challenge, how to cross it. He paused, gazing at the boundless waters. This sea cannot be crossed by wish alone. We must think. We must plan. He then gave the order. Let the army halt here. No one is to wander. Send scouts. We must ensure we are safe. Sugreev and Lakshman quickly arranged the camps. The monkeys settled by the shore, forming ranks. They set up watchposts, gathered wood, and secured the area. That army of bears and Vanars, waiting by the water, looked like a second ocean, one of fur, strength, and fury gathered at the edge of the first. As the sun set, the ocean glowed in the moonlight. Its waves mirrored the sky above, blending stars and pearls, clouds and foam. The horizon disappeared, as if the sea and sky had become one. The roar of the Vanar Sena merged with the roar of the sea. That night after the camps were set, Sugreev, Angad, Hanuman, Jambavan, and Tara gathered once again beneath the cool shade of the forest. Sugreev spoke first, his voice filled with respect and awe. Ram's clarity is unmatched. His strategy covers every angle, front, flanks, and rear. He even considers the stars and the movements of planets. This is not just a battle of strength. It is a war guided by wisdom and dharm. Angad nodded, excitement in his eyes. I have never seen such a leader. Ram thinks of every detail, leaving no chance for failure. The way he plans to protect the army from hidden dangers shows his deep care for all of us. Hanuman smiled and added, his knowledge of the heavens, the alignment of stars and planets, is a sign that the gods themselves support him. It fills me with confidence that victory will be ours. Jambavan, ever wise and steady, stroked his beard thoughtfully. A leader who considers all aspects, the terrain, the enemy, the forces of nature, is a true commander. Ram's understanding inspires not only courage but faith. Tara, calm and perceptive, looked toward the camp where Lakshman stood beside Ram. And see Lakshman, she said softly. His loyalty is as fierce as the fiercest tiger. He understands Ram without a word needing to be spoken. Their bond is unbreakable. Sugreev agreed. Lakshman's readiness to act, his unwavering support, show the strength behind Ram's leadership. When brothers stand united like this, no enemy can divide them. The 5 leaders exchanged looks of determination and respect. They knew the journey ahead was dangerous, but with Ram's guidance and Lakshman's solidarity, the path was clear. Together, they prepared their hearts and minds for the battle, a battle that would echo through history as a triumph of dharm and devotion. And there, at the edge of the world, Ram stood still, his eyes fixed on the far shore where Lanka rose like a golden menace. Behind him was an army. Ahead of him, destiny.
Even as Ram's words settle among the Vanar Sena, the air around Mount Prasravana hums with quiet resolve. The clarity in Ram's voice is more than command. It is the steady pulse of dharma awakened, a beacon guiding countless hearts toward a single purpose. Lakshman stands unwavering, a pillar of loyalty and strength beside his brother. Sugreev, Angad, Hanuman, Jambavan, and Tara gather, their spirits lifted by the vision of a leader who thinks beyond the battlefield, who reads the stars, guards every flank, and carries the weight of righteousness with calm determination. The Vanar army feels the shift, the turning of a tide that will sweep across oceans and mountains. This is not just a march toward war. It is a journey to restore balance, to reclaim what was lost to darkness and fear. Yet, as the sun dips behind the distant hills, the question lingers in the wind. How will Ram's wisdom shape the coming storm? Will the faith of the Vanars hold firm when the earth trembles beneath the clash of arms? In this moment, before the great departure, the world seems to hold its breath. The horizon blurs where sea meets sky, and somewhere deep in the heart of every warrior, hope and courage blaze like fire. Join us in the next episode of the Ramayan, Stories of Dharm and Devotion, where the ocean will roar its challenge, ancient powers will awaken, and the first steps of destiny will be taken. Share this tale with those dear to you, and may it kindle in your own heart the fierce light of courage and the unwavering strength of dharm. Though the details of this ancient tale may vary across traditions, its essence reminds us of the enduring power of compassion, courage, and hope in the face of adversity. Until next time, may the light of dharm guide your path and fill your heart with peace.